Co-operative Funeralcare have been the title sponsors, and also to Just Retirement, who have come on board this year as a co-sponsor. But also, can I just say thank you to the Partingtons, your group, who, again, without your support and all the work you do, because ladies and gentlemen, they build all these seats that you're sitting on, all of it, they build it. So when it breaks, don't bloody blame me. But no, they do. They put in a shed load of work, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much to everybody. Right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's 2 o'clock, time to go live, so let's bring your players on. Well, this gentleman's come all the way from the USA, ladies and gentlemen. 2007 Open Force gold medal and a gold in the 2009 singles. Let's give a warm welcome to Charles Herbert. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's up against the world ranked number 9, who at this year's World Indoor Championships was a semi-finalist in the World Singles and the World Pairs. It's none other than Greg Harlow. Played the trial ends, go straight to the match, and I hand you over to commentary with Janice Gower.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open 2015 and this first round game here at Blackpool Newton Hall, which is part of the Partingtons Holiday Parks group. And we're looking at a game between Charles Herbert of the USA and Greg Harlow of England. And I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary box this afternoon by John Bazaar from Canada. And you're going to hear an Australian accent speak back to you shortly, John. Welcome to the commentary box.
Thanks, Janice. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, interesting game here. Charles is from the USA, and as the gentleman next to me, John, had to do, the USA qualifiers are played on outdoor surfaces. They don't have indoor greens over there. Different things to sort of qualify, really, John.
Yeah, it's not hard because obviously you're up against a seasoned campaigner as a qualifier, and our qualifiers are often played in the summer, so you've got about a 6 or 7 month wait before getting over here, and so you got to hit your stride early and try and shake up these ranked players, and it's all about getting tied into the jack, and if you can't do that early, it really is. It's a struggle because you're coming off, winter. I left home, it was minus 25. For those who don't know what that feels like, you can throw boiling air in the water and it turns into snow. So it's a great trip to come over here, though, and I think, Charles is a great athlete, so it's going to be interesting to see how he goes against Greg today.
Yeah, you were saying how cold it was when I met you first on Thursday, how cold it was coming over from Canada, and we think it's cold here in Lancashire. But nothing like those sort of temperatures. A little bit of a loose opener here from Charles. It'll be nervy for him. His first time out here on a World Bowls Tour set. Whereas Greg, of course, many, many times, won many titles. One of the most consistent players on the tour. Here, he's just looking to get his line and length early in the game. A couple of things that our spectators like to know is that both players out there are playing with Henselite Tiger Bowls, size 4. Greg Harlow is quite famous for playing with the Tigers. Charles has opted for the Tigers as well. But always hard work when you come over as a qualifier to play against these top guys, John.
Yeah, at the same time, you've got nothing to lose, so You just give it everything. I played against Dave Goulet a lot back in Australia, so it wasn't unfamiliar from that sense. But definitely, you're against it when these guys are playing on this surface all the time, but great experience nonetheless.
Yeah, and from speaking to most of the qualifiers, it's a good experience to come over and actually manage to qualify. The tough qualifying sessions that any of the qualifiers here have to go through. Well, Charles, just run a little touch further.
You might have just cut one out there, maybe.
Two, yes.
Yeah, we start with a 2 to Greg Harlow at the first end of this first set. And we play 2 sets of 9 ends. And after the 2 sets, if it's 1 set all, we go to a 3-end tie break here at the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open. And this is a first round game. Nice crowd in there today watching.
24.5 meters.
Just a little bit of a disturbance there on Greg's delivery.
Take 3. Here we go.
I'm not sure what that was. We'll probably find out later. Obviously people are just coming back into the auditorium after their very, very nice lunch that they'll have had here. A nice roast dinner on today, I saw.
Yeah, I think I'll have to hit the gym when I get back. It's beautiful food the ladies make out there in the lunchroom for us players. They look after us very nicely.
It's quite a nice little venue here. Obviously I'm a bit biased because it's my home club, but we have a nice cafe where they do home cooked food, a nice little bar area which I'm sure will have been sampled by a few of the players this week.
Just start looking, Charles.
This opening couple of ends are always just a bit settling down, settle the nerves down. Looking close with this.
On red.
In the area again here.
Very close here. Might have just been unlucky, but it's a good effort.
One red.
All on the pace of this bowl. Finishing well.
Brilliant shot.
2 red.
Charles has chosen to play a little bit of a runner. These can be very cruel on this carpet, can't they, John? They can just dip under.
Yeah, I had a few experiences myself with that yesterday. Very tough to get those timing shots right. Almost better sometimes just to add a bit of extra weight and get it down the pocket so it doesn't, have a chance to turn.
Going for a tactical bowl here, Greg. Just in case Charles opts for the same option. To be fair, John, it's a good shout really. If he gets his own green bowl onto the jack, perhaps forces him into playing it with less weight and trying just the timer.
Yeah, I think too early it's important just to go for your shots. If you happened to pull one of them off. Helps settle the nerves early, so I wouldn't be surprised if he adds a bit more weight here.
I think it's just going to dip again. He'll be disappointed with that, really. There was a chance there.
2 shots to Greg Harlow.
Another 2 shots to Greg Harlow means he takes a full nil lead after 2 ends in this first set. Interesting, our cameraman then focused in on the shoes of Charles Herbert. They're a bit of something different for over here.
Yeah, I know back home we always used to laugh at the brown shoe bowlers, but they look, I think they're blue, are they, Janice?
Can't work out whether they're blue or black. It's that, like the famous dress that was on the internet a few days ago. Was it gold and white, or was it blue and black, or whatever?
Track length 27.5 metres.
Nice to see nowadays that a lot of the bowl shoes and a lot of the clothing itself is becoming more sporty-like.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see the colour coming into the game.
A couple of feet through there from Greg, but he's just settling down. Greg plays a lot of bowls over here. He's representing England next week at the England International Series. He'll be skipping a rink for England. And he's the ambassador for bowls now at the home of the World Championships, Potter's Leisure Resort. And he gets to meet a lot of the customers there and relax and enjoy his bowls. He got to the semi-finals of the World Championships this year.
2 red.
Just so steady on the draw, Greg.
And I see Charles lists his occupation as a kite surf instructor. I think that must be one of the best occupations I've ever commentated on for a player. Kite
Yes.
surf instructor.
I know, it's probably the most extreme sport I've seen for a bowler. I noticed his indoor rink's pretty similar to mine too. He's listed it as his own garage at home, so just speaks to those challenges we talked about earlier with just having no facilities to practice after qualifying. It does make it hard, so you make do with what you got.
2 red.
Great shot that again by Greg.
It looks down a reasonable track to reach that back bowl of Greg's. What's the pace like here? Slips past that.
Great shot.
Oh, good bowl. That'll be a bit of a nerve settler.
1 green. 3.5, 4 inches.
Of course, the players here at the World Bowls Tour events that are televised have got to play under the shot clock, which gives them 30 seconds to deliver the bowl from the last bowl coming to rest. They get 5 60-second timeouts that they can take throughout the game if they need a little bit longer to think about a shot. And that again is something that's a different thing for the qualifiers to have to cope with.
Yeah, I found it was okay. It's a reasonable amount of time, but definitely when you're visiting the head and having assessing the situation, you've got to be careful and keep your eyes on it. I know I think I got into about 3 or 4 seconds yesterday before I put my hand up at one stage. So, but it's good. It's just an added feature for the crowd to watch. And I've seen a few players fail with it actually in the early rounds. The siren's gone off, so you definitely have to keep an eye on it.
Just dropping short there.
One
Happy to
shot
take the
Charles
one.
Herbert.
Happy to get on the scorecard. After 3 ends in this first set, Greg Harlow leads 4-1. Yeah, I think it's just a question of getting used to that shot clock. And we go into the fourth end here now. Charles will be wanting to try and sort another end onto his list.
Yeah, I think Charles will
Jack
be looking
length
for
30.5 metres.
just been struggling with his opening two so far, and it was so important at this level to get those opening two in tight and put the pressure on these top players.
It looks a good track here. We were talking about the shot clock, and we had one player lose a bowl yesterday in the first rounds because he didn't deliver it before the siren went off. And if the siren goes off, it certainly wakes everybody up. We're a very intimate venue here at Blackpool, so it certainly echoes. It's the closest you can get to the players. You're sitting on the front row, you're only about 12 foot away from a player.
Yeah, I noticed when I played David yesterday, they're very vocal too, but vocal in a good way. I knew if I had a good bowl or not just by listening to the crowd. They were going, oh, he's wide, he's tight, he's good, but yeah, they really get into it, which is, makes it more enjoyable too as a player.
Well, we're in a hotbed of crown green bowls in this area, John. That's one of the reasons that the Super Bowl was brought here in October, because the crown greeners are that little bit more vocal. They're very, very quick to tell you if you play a bad bowl. Two good bowls there from Greg. Let me say the key to singles games on these indoor carpets is trying to get those two first bowls close.
Absolutely. It really does just open your options up. If Charles's first two bowls here in within that foot mark, he's got options on this end, but he's left trying to still draw within 6 inches here to get back into this end. So again, those first two bowls are always very, very important.
I'm not sure what he was trying to play there. I think he was frightened to be short. He put it on a very wide line. I think he's going to be facing 3 down in a minute when this delivery comes in from Greg.
He's just sort of made a bit of a target there now for Charles. I'd probably, if it was me, I'd probably have a little tromble down there and try and rip a few of those out. Just take away a bit of the pain.
If he fancies a runner, it looks he could really pick his hand. I think I'd perhaps be looking at the forehand myself. Chance of even taking out the wing bowl.
Charlie has 4 timeouts remaining.
Get onto the 2-shot bowls or flick the jack out.
Definitely.
A few chances down there. Yeah, so he chooses the other hand, which is about right.
Forehand for the lefty though.
His forehand, which is our backhand. Say commentators curse when you call a shot. I just felt that the forehand gave him more options there. Of course, Charles is left-handed. Well, I think we might be putting a 4 on the scorecard here, John.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Craig didn't add one here.
Four shots to Greg Harlow.
Yeah, a 4 to Greg there gives him an 8-1 lead after 4 ends. Well, I suppose we better try and explain to the the crowd out there why you're officially the Canadian qualifier, but you sat there with an Australian accent. Would you like to explain to everybody how that came about then, John?
How that came about? I guess I married a Canadian, so that's what took me to Canada. Got lucky on a European tour many moons ago, and bit of feedback.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Yeah, so I've been there for 7 years now and got my Canadian citizenship last year, which was a very proud day. And, apart from the weather, Canada's an awesome country to live in, lots of opportunities, so and great people too. I do miss the sun though.
Well, I learnt this morning that next week Alex Marshall's off to Australia for 2 months or 3 months, somebody said. So he's obviously going out to try and find some sunshine.
Yeah, I think, coming from Australia, the Premier League, it's a great opportunity for these overseas players. Alex has been going over to Australia for quite some time now, and I think, a lot of that, so, Alex is a great player regardless, but, the World Bowls Tour has really lifted the profile of these players and made them, renowned around the world, and that's really created some great opportunities for them to take advantage of in countries like Australia.
Yes, all TV sports, you're looking for the players on the top level, create a profile. It helps the players within the sport. And most have to sort of beg time off work, off employers, to actually be at these events. And of course, we're very grateful to our sponsors who put a lot of money into actually getting these events live for you.
Two red.
The YouTube streaming now. We do full HD and full commentary on all games on the World Bowls Tour. And we know from this morning we've had people listening in from the likes of Brazil, Australia, Hong Kong, Canada, all over. So welcome all those viewers from all over the world. I hope the Lancashire accent's coming out clear for you. Well, Charles is in a bit of trouble again here. Just overplayed that. The one joy about these 2 sets of 9-end games is you do have the chance to regroup in the second set. Not saying that the set's over for Charles here, but I think he's currently looking at 2, possibly 3 down again.
Yeah, I think he's got to just open one up here. I think he looks like he's going to try and draw it again though. It's got a little bit of weight.
In the target area this time. I think it still might be 2 to Greg. Our marker Sandra McLeish will let us know.
1 shot to Greg Harlow.
Well, he managed to cut the count down there. That'll help a bit. 1 shot to Greg means he takes a 9-1 lead after 5 ends in the first set. Well, I do think Charles just needs to try and just settle down a bit. I say it's not easy when you're playing these top guys.
Jack length 26.5 metres.
You need to just hang in there. Take your chances when you can.
Greg looks like he's getting into quite a good rhythm now. Charles really needs to put some pressure on with his first bowl here.
And Greg got to the quarterfinals here last year, if memory serves me right. So it's a surface he's quite happy on playing on. Looks a bit on the high side, this bolt.
Just missing a drop of weight, but very good effort.
On red.
Yeah, this first set's probably gone for Charles, but it'd be, if you can hang in and just get those extra, take it to the 9 ends just to get that extra time on the green going into that second set. It'd be good to see him turn this head over and get on the board again.
He's certainly put in a few hours practice on the rinks. We have 2 rinks set up for practice rinks for the players if they're not actually on the televised rink. You can get some practice on another rink. This is close. That's a good bowl. He's played 3 good bowls at this end.
1 green.
Yeah, much better end.
Greg looks in the area here. Might just be a little bit overplayed. He won't be too worried about getting shot here. It's just 1 down at the moment.
Is that last ball second shot?
No second shots this ball here.
All right. And do I have third?
Yes.
Marker's very quick to try and answer the players' questions, as they only have 30 seconds to deliver the bowl. Marker for this game is Sandra McLeish. Our umpire is Tom Weir, and I think it's Mike Davis on the shot clock. All very
1 shot to Charles Herbert.
good workers. They work as a team to the umpires. Well, Matt's got him another shot, John. And it was a far better end from him.
Yeah, again, and those opening 2 from Charles were a little bit tighter. The Jack gave him some options with his third bowl, and he was able to turn that one over. So, it looks like he's starting to settle into this match a little. We may see a different player in the second set, I think.
I will have to find out about those shoes, I think, afterwards. Are they blue, are they black?
Jack length 25.5 metres.
He's gone a slightly shorter jack length. Of course, the players get to choose which bowls they want to play with. A lot of the top players have got their own green and red sets, but the overseas, there is a pool of bowls over here. You get to try out a few different sets, see what you feel comfortable with, John.
Yeah, it's. I think it's all about just finding a set that feels comfortable. Definitely need a set that turns nicely over here. I think yesterday I was probably hurt by a bowl that didn't get back with weight. Had in the pocket a lot of the times, but just wasn't getting the that finish that I was looking for, and it cost me in a couple of conversions. But it's all what you get used to, and if you get into that rhythm, you can throw anything down. But definitely having a bowl that really gets back to the line is important over here for sure.
bowls here. If Greg's just making the trip, this looks a little bit short as well.
Close for shot, very slightly favour red, but it's close.
Yeah, so Charles will have had to have picked up some bowls over here and got used to them over his few days practice. Of course, all the players here come several days in advance to make sure they get enough time in on the rink. If you don't do that, you're just not giving yourself any sort of a chance. But somebody like Greg Harlow, he'll use these bowls in league games and club games. He'll be very used to the bowls. A bit wide there. Well, now, does he take the chance of trying to get the red bowl out?
Tough shot, but he really doesn't have anything to lose this set. If only just to have a runner and try and get his iron with that shot for the second set. But plenty of room to draw though at the same time.
He's chosen to draw it, or try and draw it.
Could be a touch wide for that side of the rink.
See, different players, different shots. I think if I'd have been in that position, I'd have been tempted to just run at that red bowl, just open the shoulders up a bit.
Yeah, plenty of chances coming down on the forehand there. Even if he's a bit off target, might have got a bit of luck off his green, but
It's given Greg quite an easy, well, possible two, definite one by the looks of it.
Favour that one.
Sandra McLeod's just chocking that bowl.
Definitely one right there, and
One been taken out.
look over it like that.
He's just saying, can I look over it like that? Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
2 shots and
Move
first
the
set to
bowls.
Greg Harlow.
That's the first set to Greg Harlow. With 2 shots, he takes the first set 11-2 after 7 ends. As we mentioned before, clean slate now. Set 2, Charles. Start again.
it's good to see him laugh. You know, some good positive energy, and hopefully he can relax now and just get those. First 2 bowls put a bit of pressure on Greg. At the moment, he's allowing him to just get too much in the groove and throw that same length and get into a rhythm. And you don't want to do that against a guy like Greg.
Jack length 25 metres.
Now, like you say, the best option is to try and just shake the length up a bit, but for that you need to keep hold of the jack and keep consistent. So we're going to the second set here, the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open 2015, hosted by the Blackpool Newton Hall Bowls Club, which is part of Bartington's Holiday Parks. And a great venue for bowls it is, very intimate venue as mentioned before. And there's still tickets available for some of the days. If you're interested, just contact the club and come on down, enjoy the live bowling. And if you can't get down, don't forget all the games are on the live streaming of the World Bowls Tour. And from Wednesday onwards, we have coverage
1 red.
on Sky Sports as well for you. As much bowls as you want this week, culminated in the semi-finals and finals on Friday. Just a bit short there, I think.
I'll short the last ball, please, Sandra.
3.5 feet.
3.5 feet. Greg's still got the facility to get round that bowl. All on his pace here. There's a danger sometimes, John, of just trying to play neat bowls when you need to be changing something, rattling something about.
Yeah, I think you really just got to throw caution to the wind sometimes, and just back yourself to play the shot that's required. Otherwise, you maybe just get stuck into your opponent's energy, and you're just going through the motions and not really changing anything. So
It's very close between these two.
I'd really like Charles to see, get him a little bit more aggressive here, just to change things up a little. Because Greg he'll draw shots all day.
Well, a player once told me, you need to take your opportunities when you get to these things. Play the shots, give yourself a chance, be positive. And that player went on to win the World Championships last year and then the Commonwealth Games gold medal, Mr. Darren Burnett. And it just shows you've got to play with confidence.
100%. I think Darren's a great example of that.
Well, again, he's trying to just play the neat bowl.
He looks a little closer this time.
Good effort, that one.
One shot to Greg Harlow.
Just a bit of static happening out there, if you folks can hear that. So, sometimes the microphones, if there's somebody about with a mobile phone and that sort of thing, it just affects the microphones. It gives us with our headphones a little bit of a headache.
A bit of a change of length here from Greg. Surprising he's been in such a good rhythm on that shorter mat.
Track length 31
and
metres.
really taking control of the match, but taking it longer this end.
You see, Greg's using it to just test himself out with his bowls as well. This is a great bowl.
Great
Excellent
start.
lead bowl. Well, the change of length was perfect then.
Not a bad reply here too.
Oh, great
Good
bowl.
shot.
Well, that's more what Charles needs now. Try and get into this game. And Greg looks in the area again. Very close here.
It's a good ball there.
Greg plays out of the famous City of Ely club. A lot of top players play from City of Ely, including the man in the next game up, which is Nicky Brett, who faces Damien from Wales in the next live game here on the World Bowls Tour YouTube. In the meantime, Charles Herbert just played a brilliant second bowl. Well, we've seen a different player now, John.
Yeah, it's great.
There's a little trail on there for Greg. Never frightened to play positively. And he's in the area. And just one away.
Not bad. Charles has the toucher in the ditch too, so
1 green.
Yeah, I noticed Nicky Brett sat out there watching his pairs partner and clubmate. They won the World Pairs back in 2014. He just missed out in January on retaining that.
Very close here. Great shot.
One green.
There's a good chance for Charles here. His bowl's pretty well locked in up there. With a toucher in the ditch, he could get aggressive here. Looks like he's just on the draw though. Happy to take the one.
One shot to Charles Herbert.
Well, that ties up the second set at 1-all after 2 ends. Nice to see it being a little bit tighter second set.
Interesting to see if Charles sticks with the longer mat here. He played a very good in there to get the shot.
Interesting, he holds his ball when he sends his jack. I thought I was one of the few players that actually did that. Often when I do question and answer sessions, John, they often ask me, why do I hold my jack on my ball? And that's from the old crown green.
Jack length 31 and a
play
half
crown
metres.
green, you've got to watch the line of your jack, because your jack's got a bias as well.
Oh wow.
So you're actually following the line of your jack, so you don't want to be bending down to pick a bowl up. And that's just sort of stuck with me. I now don't feel right when I've got a jack in my hand if I haven't got a bowl as well.
So you're just waiting there, sort of ready to fire straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have a few Crown Green people listening in, because obviously we're from a Crown Green area up here, and I know there's a few of the players from the Super Bowl event back in October who are wandering down to watch some friends they made from the indoor circuit, and one of those, like I mentioned before, is the next game up, Nicky Brett. He became a good friend of some of the Crown Greeners, enjoyed all the banter back in October.
Yeah, I believe it's very popular in this area.
Yes, it's a hotbed for Crown Green really. It's a different game. You're playing, obviously not down a rink, you're playing anywhere across a green. And the jack's got a bias in it as well as the bowls. A lot of betting involved in that game. At some of the events you're even betting on every bowl going down.
Oh wow. Makes it a little bit more interesting, I guess. Actually, in Australia we had David Holt come across. He lives with us in I remember chatting to him about the crown bowls. I believe he was very good at it when he was in England. I find it hard enough just on the flat surface, but I can't imagine playing on a green that's got hills and crowns on it. So
yeah, David Holt was from just down the road here in Blackpool. He qualified for a few of the big Crown Green tournaments, as well as was well known on the flat green circuit.
Yeah, he's a class act, done very well in Australia actually, and continues to do well.
Yes, he's certainly settled down out there. He was a manager of the other local Blackpool club, indoor club. Sadly, he isn't there any longer, but he was a manager of Blackpool Borough. Very well liked, popular Popular guy. He pops back a few times. I think his family's still in Manchester. So, David, if you're listening in, hi from all of us over in not so sunny, more snowy Blackpool at the moment. Well, a bit of a loose end again here. Greg's just looking to tie it up.
One red.
Well, just needs to slip past there. Hang about.
Just sliding through. Should be an easy ad for Greg, but sometimes it's easier said than done. You relax on these free kicks and then you kick yourself when you don't convert. But really important to hammer down when you get an opportunity like this to make sure you make that last one count. And he's done that quite easily.
2 shots to Greg Harlow.
Yeah, that count of 2 gives Greg a 3-1 lead after 3 ends in this second set. He won the first set 11-2. So this is a set that Charles Herbert from the USA needs to win to stay in the tournament. Greg gone back to his preferred shorter length.
Jack length
I think
23
he
and a
felt
half
Charles
metres.
got a little bit too close the last time we went full length.
Yeah, as I said, I was a bit surprised tactically why he went to that longer length, but back to the short ones now.
I'm just gone over that yard line, very good though. Charles looks to just be pulling up a little bit short. Doesn't really want to lose this end. If he could win this end, it hangs him on in there in the set. Oh, great ball from Greg, great adjustment.
One thing about the top 16, Janice, that they're just so good at really being in the pocket all the time, and their draw shots, you just never get a break. They put you under that pressure bowl after bowl, so unless you're getting within that, a couple of inches with your first 2 bowls, you really are fighting against these guys, because they just draw them in all day.
If they play a loose end, you've really got to take your opportunities.
Needs to get this one in tight for a chance with his last here.
Well, even just a little nudge on Greg's bowl, open it up a bit. Looks close. No, that's not a bad effort.
So it could be a good second
Alright.
anyway. We'll see if Greg gives him a chance by not adding here.
This looks on a tight line. Just looking to cover the Shot. Yeah, he's a good ball there from Greg. Charles is just waiting to find out how many shots he's down.
Slightly favoured 2.
Yeah, he had it and he took the opportunity away.
Well, if this swings, it's going to swing too much.
Trying to play a very tough shot.
Yeah, just trying to play the perfect shot again.
Two shots to Greg Harlow.
2 shots to Greg Harlow gives him a 5-1 lead at 4 ends in this second set. Nice picture there of Mr. and Mrs. Kearsley, the owners here at the Partington Holiday Parks and Blackpool Newton Hall. Very, very keen bowls supporters. In fact, Mrs. Kearsley, I remember playing against her in a league game, actually turned her hand to bowls for a couple of years.
That's nice. It's great to have that support behind our game.
Jack length 26 metres.
The business is now run by their son and daughter. All the family are very keen on this event and keeping it promoted. And as Richard mentioned, that's Richard Madison in his opening. It's them that build the seating set and give the club up for these events, which is good for the surrounding areas of Blackpool, as all these people stay in hotels and guest houses. It brings the world top 16 and 16 world qualifiers to Blackpool.
Nice correction there from Greg.
On red.
5 ends left to play. I think this is a crucial end really for Charles. If he drops another 1 or 2 here, he's short with this. Saying over here that's never up, never in. Make sure you reach. Give yourself a chance.
Yeah, a little bit surprising, and you know what, it could be the nerves, but I met Charles in practice and watched him a little bit. He looks like he enjoys a drive. Very surprising that he hasn't unleashed that tool in this match at all. I think he's had a couple of opportunities to do that. I know he enjoys a drive, just from what I've heard about him playing in the States even. He loves a good run, so maybe we'll see it before the match is out.
I think like we mentioned before, sometimes you go into these games against the top 16 and first time in this situation, you alter your game instead of sticking to what you know and what you're happy playing.
Definitely, I could vouch for that my first time a few years back. It is nervous. You don't get a chance to play on TV and in front of a crowd, and if you haven't been in that environment before, it takes a little while to settle down and get used to it. As usual, it's 90% mental. You've got to really control your thoughts and get control of your mind so you can get to a good point where you can relax and just play the game that you're used to playing. Often a lot harder done than said, though.
Timeout called.
I don't know what he's looking at here, really.
Charles has 3 timeouts
To me,
remaining.
it seems to just be the over the draw, try and trail that jack. Perhaps he's looking to try and alter something. He's looking intently at it anyway. He's made his mind up. He's gone for a runner. Tips so quickly. Can they get the right result? Well, that's his worst possible result.
3 shots to Greg Harlow.
3 shots to Greg Harlow gives him an 8-1 lead after 5 ends in the second set. 7 up with 4 ends to play. Against former world champion Greg Harlow and also top 16 player. Is he going to let 7, 8 shots slip away in 4 ends? We've seen this so many times that this is when the top 16
Jack length
clamp down.
24.5 metres.
Make sure that the opponent can't score any more than 1 shot an end. So you've enjoyed your experience of coming over to snowy rather than sunny Blackpool, John?
Yeah, it's been great. Really enjoyed the event. Enjoyed the people. Everyone's friendly, and looking forward to hopefully trying my hand in a few more qualifiers in Canada next year, and hopefully get a trip back. I only played in the 1 qualifier last year to get over here, and I just didn't have the time to play in the other events. But after yesterday and feeling, even after a loss, I felt like I had my chances, and given a few more tries, I might have a different turn of luck. So yeah, I'll be hopefully playing in some more qualifiers next year's and getting back here to enjoy it again.
I think once you've had that taste for the TV sets, I think if you're the sort of player that likes to play under these sort of atmospheres, it does mean that you desperately want to get back here. And all you have to do, folks, is go to your local PBA branch, take out a membership and come and have a go, and you too could be here facing these top players on these venues.
I think that's really well said, Janice. That with the PBA you really do control your own destiny. There's no selectors or politics or outside influence. You pay your membership fees, and it really is up to you. If you win, you get a trip and you get a chance to play against the best players in the world. So it's a fantastic opportunity because, as bowls goes, you're good on the day. Anyone can win in this crazy game, and PBA is a great example of, it's an individual event, obviously, but you've got the world players as well. But like I said, you create your own destiny, and if you happen to play well, you might just slide into the top 16 and enjoy a couple of years over here.
Well, Greg's thoroughly in the driving seat here. Slip through that gap, and it's a great ball. Great ball from Greg Harlow there.
3 red.
Well, I think that 3 might have just finished the game off.
3 shots to Greg Harlow.
Greg now leads 11-1 after 6 ends in the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open first round game here. The world number 9 looking very comfortable here at the moment. It'd have to be a miracle now. 11 shots in 3 ends for Charles Herbert to stay in the tournament.
Jack length 26.5 metres.
Yes, the PBA is open to men and women. We have a few wheelchair players playing it in this country. It's open to any ability, any age, any sex. Go and pay your membership and have a go. Tough to get through. Sometimes you've got 5, 6, 7 games in tough qualifiers, but you get your chance to play on the world stage. And like you mentioned, John, once you've got the taste for it, I think you want to come back.
Yeah, it's win, loss or draw. It's just it's a great event to play in. Laura Hedrowsko from Canada, she it's good you mentioned the same sex. She's a great female bowler in Canada, and I think she's been over here 3 times now in the pairs. And from that, she's had other opportunities at those events, playing in some mixed pairs with some of the greatest players in the world. And I know, Laura's a friend, and after speaking with her, they're memories that she's going to have for a lifetime.
Yes, there are opportunities when you do get into these events. I was fortunate enough 2 years ago to play with the man that's out there on the rink now in the World Mixed Pairs. I played with Greg Harlow. We got to the semi-finals. And like I say, to have that opportunity to play with these sort of players, it's something that you never forget.
Greg really driving it home now, looking to close out this end by the looks of it.
Yes, I think he's tasting that pint waiting for him at the bar. Oh, he's bringing out the big gun now, is Charles, perhaps a little bit late on in the proceedings.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to get a few of those drives away early in the match, because the other thing about the indoor, the bowls react so differently. And if with the drive, if you don't time it right, they can slide off into a different line, and that's outstanding bowls here again from Greg.
Well, that's an exhibition end really from Greg Harlow. No need to make the target any bigger. Charles just having a little bit of a wry smile then. I think he knows where his fate is now.
4 red.
I don't really think all 4 bowls go now, even if he does hit it.
He's better.
Timeout call.
Just called the timeout with a few
Charles
seconds
has
to
3
spare.
timeouts remaining.
Yeah, you see it a lot in our game. I mean, obviously in sets play it's harder, but sometimes when you're well behind and you sort of just loosen up and play with the freedom that you probably should have started with, and you can turn matches around in this game. But obviously in sets played a lot more difficult to do that.
Well, this could be the last bowl of this game. Needs to make contact.
Looks better.
Oh, he's in the area. Oh, took one away.
3 shots, second set, match to Greg Harlow.
So that means that Greg Harlow takes the first set 11-2, the second set 14-1. Don't forget, straight after the break, we're back with Nicky Brett versus Damien Doublet. I'd like to thank you for your company for this game, and I'd like to thank John Bazaire for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your season, whether it be indoors or outdoors, and hopefully we'll see you back on the carpet fairly soon.
Thanks, Janice. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks very much. Join us again after the break.
James?
I was almost out of breath there with the amount of driving you were doing.
Well, I needed to. The pressure that Greg kept putting on me was just tremendous, and he did a wise thing by changing mat length on me and not being real versed, on the indoor. There's a big difference between long, short, medium, and so he did a great job, moving the mat on me and forcing my hand to throw at it hard.
I think it's important that people realize that you're coming from an area that doesn't have an indoor facility available, and you've constructed the best you can in your 3-car garage, I believe, for a bit of indoor practice, which is not exactly ideal, but then again, you do the best you can. It's been an interesting experience for you, though.
A wonderful experience. The people here are just absolutely fabulous, from the hotel to this facility, to all, just meeting and getting to know a lot of the players. It's just been a great experience. So I'm comfortable, not happy, but life goes on, and I want to be back as soon as I can.
And the car drivers between here and the hotel have been very good while you've been on your bicycle?
The bicycle's been an experience. With everybody, driving on a different side of the road, and then allowing them to park differently each way, it gets a little intimidating, but it's worked out.
I should say, folks, that when Charles arrived, he actually bought a bicycle to go between the hotel and the venue, because he liked to exercise in -3 degrees in the night time and in the morning. Congratulations, Greg. You played very well, and sometimes it's not that easy to play that well under those circumstances.
No, I mean, as Charles just said, I made a conscious effort trying not to keep the jack length on a similar length, trying to change it about. Having said that, the jack didn't always land where I wanted it to. 1 or 2 was shorter than I actually wanted to. From my point of view, obviously it was job done, and I just tried to make it as difficult as I could for him. I know it's not very sporting, but that's what comes with experience,
Absolutely, you do what you have to do under the circumstances, but you were finding centre rink very well, and the targets were quite narrow at times, so you must be very happy.
Yeah, obviously, if you're making centre of the rink, that's the ideal for any bowler. And then obviously, as the tournament progresses, the pace hopefully homes in as well, and you go as far as you can.
And you'll be staying, of course, to watch your good friend Nicky against Damien to see whether you're going to be playing him in the next match.
Yes, I think we'll probably have a little look at that one before we wander off and have a beer in the bar.
That's a real shock for all of us, everyone, isn't it? Thank you very much, guys. Charles, have a good journey home, and thank you for being here.
Appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. And I said a few thank yous to everybody earlier on, but there's one group of people I did miss in my thank yous, and that's yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because without all of you coming in to watch, then it makes it a pretty empty event. So it's my way of flattering you all to come in tomorrow. But no, seriously, thank you ever so much for coming in. Like I said, for players, it's important that they have an audience because it does add to the event. So, you know, just a good thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the second match. So let's bring on former Welsh under-25s champion, and he's a senior Welsh international now, Damien Doubler. And up against him, ladies and gentlemen, he's the reigning Scottish International Open champion, world ranked at number 3. It is Nick Brett. They've played their trial ends, go straight into the match. And I hand you over to commentary with Janice Gower.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open 2015 here at the Blackpool Newton Hall Club, part of the Partington's Holiday Parks group. An interesting game coming up here, and I've been joined in the commentary box by Neil Smith. Good afternoon, Neil.
Afternoon, Janice. Looking forward to this one. This should be a good game between two good players.
Yeah, Damien's no stranger to this portable rink, or this non-portable rink. You know, playing on the bona fide rink 2 here at Blackpool Newton Hall. And Damien played here in the Tour Card playoffs back in May. A good start there from Damien.
Yes, even though he's pretty young, Damien, he's sort of been around the circuit for a while, been at the qualifiers for a number of years, and he's qualified for I think a couple of events before.
But he's facing Nicky Brett, the world number 3. The man in form at the moment. He won the Co-operative Funeralcare Scottish International Open back in November. Looking to add this title to his list of achievements. Just last weekend won the National Mixed Pairs with his partner Ellen Faulkner for, somebody said, the 320th time.
That wouldn't surprise me. He's certainly up there. I would say he's probably the most decorated national title winner. So yeah, about 300, I would think. The thing is, Nicky does play in a lot of events. He loves the sport, and he wins a lot of titles. He's a great player.
I think he'll even say himself he's probably the player that plays the most bowls. He plays at club level. Great bowl there from Damien.
Yeah, and Damien started really well.
As we mentioned before, I don't think Damien's going to sit back here. He'll want to take the game to Nicky, make Nicky play for it.
Of course, you have to remember Damien's an international skip himself, he skipped for Wales for a few years. He's been in the team for, I think, 5 or 6 years. So he's got full of experience.
Yeah, he's only young as well. It's sometimes sickening, Neil, to see these youngsters coming through and playing so well.
Indeed. Yeah, there's a lot of them on the circuit now. It's, obviously, they're all striving to maybe reach this level one day.
And the PBA is a good way of doing that. As we mentioned in the game before, with John from Canada, all you have to do is pay your PBA membership, sign up to one of the venues, and you too could be here holding 3 shots against Nicky Brett.
That's a great ball.
3 green.
It's a lovely start. It's really set them down.
Nicky will play a runner at this. He's not frightened to try and change things. Any of his bowls into the head helps. He just got that unfortunate.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky there. He could have driven that through the head, but Damien deserves those 3. It's a great start for him.
3 shots. Damien Doubler.
Well played.
So that's 3 shots to Damien. 3-0 at the first end. It's opening end of this 9-end first set. We play 2 sets of 9 ends, and if they score 1 set each, we go to a 3-end tie break. Like we were saying, Damien's officially a qualifier. Qualified out of the Welsh venue to be here. I'm just being corrected there by Neil next to me. He said he qualified out of Poole.
He did, because I was there.
Ah.
Yeah, I believe he... I'm trying to think who he beat in the last qualifying game. It might have been Scott Edwards. I know Scott was very unlucky at the qualifiers. I think he lost in a couple of finals out of the 3 events that we tried to qualify for. And yeah, Damien did qualify from that. So he's coming up a yard short. I think Damien would have gone to bed dreaming about that start, picking up a 3 on the first end.
Yeah, very, very confident player. He was at the World Championships because he won the World Indoor Bowls Council.
Yes, thanks for reminding me, Janice.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was a great event actually over in Jersey last year in April, and I had the pleasure of being over there myself, and Damien actually played me in the semi-final, and he beat me with the last bowl of the game, a 4-hand runner, and he buried the jack in the ditch with his last bowl, and he went on to beat Mark Dawes in the final.
So that just shows the quality of this young man that's out there.
That's right, yeah, he's got certainly a good CV already at the tender age of 25.
And Mickey's in the area here.
Yeah, it's a good bowl from Nicky, just sliding by. So it's still early days, but Nicky may be a little concerned he hasn't dropped on the weight yet. Obviously Damien has dropped on it straight away. But obviously it won't take Nicky too long to make the adjustment.
For those people out there, the spectators that like to know what these players are playing with, Damien told me earlier he's elected to play with his Drake's Pride professionals. He did try the XPs out, but decided that the professionals were the way to go. And Nicky Brett's out there with his Henselite Tigers.
Yeah, just struggling a little with the pace.
1 green.
It is easy to drop that 2 feet short because the green isn't the quickest, but it's a pretty even pace. But you can sort of, when you're trying to draw a shot, you can drop that 2 feet short. It's an easy thing to do. It's a decent line if Damien's got the pace. Well, it's a little short, but it could be second.
I think Nicky will just be looking to try and just get his pace right here.
yeah, he'll certainly be looking, I think, for a forehand draw. Wasn't too far off last time. A couple of feet on his last should do it.
Looks a very good line.
Yeah, it's just all on his pace now. Looks better.
You'll still be
great
disappointed
try.
with that, Neil. He's still
Yeah,
not.
it's almost. He's
my
made
pace.
second wood, but
One shot. Damien doubler.
Damien will be really pleased with his start. 4-0.
That's a great opening. 2 ends from the young man from Wales. Both of these players will be going to Stanley next week to represent their countries in the British Isles International Series. Both of them skipping rinks, I think.
Yes, that's right. Damien's really looking forward to it. He's actually been playing since 2008 in the senior side, so it's a great achievement for a youngster. He certainly won't show any nerves, I don't think, Damien. If he's got a chance to win, he'll certainly be trying to grab it.
Great opener here.
Great start.
Definitely putting the world number 3 under some pressure here.
I think having watched and obviously played yesterday, I think that's the one thing I've noticed is a lot of the qualifiers haven't been able to get the pressure to the seeds, and that's why we've seen no upsets yet. I think we've played well in spells. I certainly did in my game. I felt I played okay the first set, but just couldn't maintain it. And Merv got better as the game went on, and of course you can't afford to drop off. You have to play at top level all the time, but it's very difficult to do that, against these top players. But certainly Damien's made a good start, and he'll need to keep this up.
Like you say, all the seeds have got through so far.
Yeah, it's funny because I expected a few surprises on the Blackpool carpet, but this year the seeded players seem to be handling it better than previous years.
Yeah, well, with it not being the actual portable rink, it's felt that this surface becomes a bit more of a leveller. The qualifiers are used to playing on these sort of surfaces where the top 16 always have the favoured portable rink. As Nicky plays such a lot of bowls, he'll be used to this surface. He was one of the flat green indoor players to go and play at the Super Bowl back in October.
That's a great try here if he's got the pace. That's a good second word. Yeah, not bad.
1 green.
Yeah, the thing I found most is as the pressure builds, it is really difficult for the qualifiers to see a game through. That first set's very important. I think if you can just sneak the first set as a qualifier, you probably relax and probably play better in the second. But I found, having lost the first set last night, you just feel under more pressure. And it just does build. There's no doubt about it. It's very difficult to handle. You're trying so hard, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's easy to do that and just drop a couple of feet short. But all credit to the seeded players. They've all done very well so far. See Greg's joined Kay in the crowd to watch Nicky.
Yes, I also noticed that Andy Thompson, MBE's there as well, watching his fellow England teammate. Oh, Nicky's going for a little bit of a trundler here. Try and change something.
He needs his bowl solid.
His own bowl.
Oh, unlucky. That's a good effort. He's not afraid to play the forehand runner, Nick.
1 shot.
He's
Damien doubler.
obviously very accurate.
And Damien takes a 5-0 lead after 3 ends in this first set. Dream start for Damien.
It is, and so of all the qualifiers, this is definitely the best start we've seen.
Very steady head on this young man from Wales.
Yeah, of course, he's used to playing the sets format a lot. He as I say, the World Indoor Singles he won in Jersey was a sets format, and obviously plays a lot of qualifying events. So he certainly knows how to win.
Yes, he's got a long list of indoor credentials. He also played junior-wise outdoors for Wales for a few years. Occupation, a civil servant.
Yeah, he's just recently taken up that job a few months ago.
It's hard work when you have a full-time job, Neil, getting time off work for bowls.
Yes, it can be. I mean, you need weeks here and there for national championships and for international duty. So, you know, you can end up taking 4 or 5, 6 weeks just for bowls. So it doesn't leave a lot of time for any holidays. That's without the the individual days off you have to take now and then. So yeah, it can be a full-time commitment. Yes.
Close here again.
Yeah, he's very close. He's certainly keeping the pressure on Nick. Nick is still struggling a little bit with the pace. Don't think he'll be too concerned at the moment, but I'm sure he'll want to be scoring on this end just to get himself going.
This looks to just be slightly under, unless it gets a nice glide off that bowl. That helped it. Not made it any easier.
No, does it? I think his pace was better there. Just say a bowl tight.
An inch and a half gap.
And Nicky's in relation to the jack, please?
12 inches.
Information being asked there off our marker Tom Weir. Here trialling to become part of the World Bowls Tour umpiring team.
Damien just looks a fraction under the line this time. A little bit under the pace. It's not bad. It's nearly there.
It's not an easy shot for Nick here, really.
I think all Nick's got is the forehand draw. Slightly over the pace, he can sit the bowl out or touch the white across.
Urging it on.
Yeah, I think his weight was good again. He may have lifted Damien for 2.
2 green.
Though they're saying that, it's probably made his next shot a little bit easier. He's got a bit of a guide there now. I think Damien just remembered the shot clock was on. A little scurry to the mat.
Of course, the players play under the shot clock here, which gives them 30 seconds to deliver a bowl from the last bowl coming to rest. And they have 5 timeouts within the game that they can take, which gives them an extra 60 seconds. Oh, that's tightened Nicky's shot up, but he's still looking down the forehand here, I think, Neil, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He can afford to run down the forehand, chop off his own red bowl, gets him back into the head. I don't think he'll be too far away with this. If he is underneath, he'd take one of Damien's out, maybe. Just an arriving shot down the forehand.
He's watching it.
Yeah, this looks pretty good.
That's a great line.
Very good. I think he's got it all the way. Well played.
Oh, well played, Nicky Brett.
Ooh, has it gone too far?
1 shot, Nick Brett.
He's just made the single.
Now Nick's on the scoreboard now. Damien Doubler leads 5-1 after 4 ends in this first set.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a relieved Nicky there to get that one and get on the board. It looked good all the way. Really played it with a good weight.
I've just had a text through from somebody who's in the know and tells me that Tom Weir was actually in charge of the bowls officials at the Commonwealth Games in Scotland, in Glasgow, this last year. So he's got top credentials to be trying to become a member of the team. Thank you, Andy Jones, for that. He also says he's a top bloke. I'll take your word for that, Andy, but he seems very nice.
Yeah, he's certainly done a good job so far. I've watched a lot of games, and and he's done very well.
A good opening bowl there from Nick. A little bit of a smile off him there. He enjoys a bit of a banter with the crowd, does Nick?
Yeah, be pleased he's now dropped on the weight. That first bowl's so crucial. Just takes a lot of pressure off if you can slot the first one in.
It's all really about those first 2 bowls, getting them in the area.
Of course, that's the first 4 ends. That's what Damien's been able to do. He's bowled 1 or 2 good ones early doors, and he's put Nick under a bit of pressure. So obviously it's reversed on this end now. Might see the 4-hand runner from Damien here. I think he must have heard me. Yeah, he's very good at this shot. Not afraid to play a 4-hand runner himself. Here it comes. Very close. It's a bullseye, I think.
Area.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Second wood.
Of course, Nicky's been a quarter-finalist at the World Singles and was a semi-finalist here in October in the Super Bowl, where he lost out to Wizard Billy Jackson, who went on to win that tournament.
Yeah, I remember watching that game, and I think I was very impressed with the way Billy managed to get battered for an hour and a half and still end up winning.
Yes, I think Nick came off shaking his head, wondering where that game went, but I think that's what gave Billy Jackson the nickname the Wizard, because he played one in particular unbelievable bowl.
2 red.
Just try it, a little bit of a runner, and got the absolute ultimate result.
Things in the sets format, you can get 1 or 2 sort of shocks, if you like. You don't always have to play at your best to win a sets match. I think a game of 21 up, you probably struggle to win if you're not playing at your best. But sets format, you can do it. It's another great bowl from Nicky. I think we might see the 4-hand runner again now. I think if Damien can get inside onto the second bowl first to straighten up onto the shot, that could be his best result. Rather than tapping the outside of the shot bowl, if he could just bend into that gap, he could end up pulling the jack straight. He's down the tubes. This looks good. This looks very good.
He's willing it down.
Oh, what a result. Great strike, but a great result.
So the young man's not frightened to go for those sort of shots.
It's very brave, but it was the right shot and he got a good result. Obviously could have ended up still 1 down, but he's hit the target.
Damien doubler.
And he's got 2.
That means Damien takes a 7-1 lead after 5 ends against the world number 3.
Yeah, he's looking very confident.
Current standings at the moment as well is Nicky Brett is currently provisional world number 2. So he'll be wanting to tie a few games here together, but he's going to have to get past this young man from Wales first to do that.
Jack length 28 metres.
Well, I think Nicky would be thinking he might have got on the scoreboard again at that end.
Yeah, he played a really good end. 4 good bowls. So Damien's played a couple of good running bowls and got good results both times. We've noticed in a few of the other games that you don't always get what you deserve sometimes with the running bowls, and it's very frustrating when you think you've played the perfect shot and it doesn't quite come off. But Damien's played 2 or 3 good runners at the moment and he's got a good result, so that sort of bodes well for him for the rest of the game. I think I could be talking by myself for the next few minutes. I think Janice has just got a lovely piece of chocolate cake just arrived in the commentary box.
Yes, I must thank the girls in the canteen and the assistant manager here at Blackpool Newton Hall, Sue Kearsley, for delivering a lovely piece of chocolate fudge cake. So if I go quiet, you know what's happening. Thanks, Neil.
Looks like I'm on my own. But again, Damien dominating the head so far. Good first bowl. Nikki just scratching around a little bit there. It's funny, we're looking at all the matches at the first round draw. This did look one of the top games, and probably one of the toughest ones for the seeds. Another good bowl from Damien. Nice little touch there, bringing him a bit closer. It's like I was saying earlier, the little touches just need to go your way as a qualifier. Everything's got to go your way to give you a chance. Great effort from Nikki. Well,
Those just took the one out.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, it does give him 2 seconds. If Damien's going to need to get this one close. Otherwise, Nicky will have a shot for 3 with his last. Yeah, I noticed in the game with Rob Wheel and Alex, Rob didn't play too bad, but again, all the little touches just didn't go his way. He bowled decent weight, but it was just sliding through gaps. A little touch off a bowl here and there would have made a massive difference.
We were saying earlier today, Neil, that when the qualifiers come here, you've got to really sort of take your chances and hope sometimes. But certainly this week, it seems to have, the luck seems to have just gone in the favour of the seeds.
Yeah, yeah. It's not. It's probably it is luck, but also it's the big bowls as well. So last night against me, Mervyn bowled 2 absolutely brilliant bowls. When I think I was 4-2 up, holding 2. I was holding 2 again the next end, and each time Merv got shot with his last bowl, and that's what the top players do. That they pull out the big bowls to keep them in the set.
Well, can Nicky pull out a big
This is
bowl
what Nicky
here?
needs now. That's
it.
right. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he does do it.
Well,
Here we go. Little trickle for 2. Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
And that's exactly what we're saying. They managed to bowl those big bowls to keep them in the set. Yeah, Damien was home and dry there with that, if Nicky missed that.
That means Damien doublers now 7-3 up after 6 ends. And world number 3's managed to cut it down now to a shot difference of 4 with 3 ends to play.
Yeah, it's a brilliant bowl from Nicky. I mean, 9-1 or even 8-1. It was probably looking bleak for him, but 7-3 now. It's anybody's game again.
And it's coming back to something that I think you mentioned in commentary yesterday, Neil. It's the 7th end of the 9-end set, and often the 7th end can be key.
Yep.
Damien wins this. It would give him a really big buffer moving into the last 2 ends. Whereas if Nick manages to pick some sort of count on this end, even of a 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think both players will know the situation now. I mean, Damien probably just needs to win 1 end. Obviously, Nicky's thinking he's got to win all 3 to have a chance. So yeah, they both know the score. It's been a fantastic start for Damien. He just needs to try and finish it off now.
Looks a bit wide with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of both over the top. That's been a great game so far.
Yes, the crowd showing their appreciation of the good bowls, and we've got a packed crowd in there today.
I know, it's brilliant. It's a full house again. So it was a good crowd yesterday too. Obviously, I think the last game 1 or 2 disappeared, but it's understandable. But it's been a great start for the first 2 days of the tournament.
I don't think anybody will be disappearing for the last game tonight, Neil. We have one Mark Dawes taken to the stage.
Yep.
The local hero.
Yes, that's right. And again, I've had experience playing Mark a couple of times. Yeah, great guy. England international.
Currently on the provisional ranking, Mark's standing at number 16. If he makes a few games here, he's got a chance of being in that top 16 for next year.
That's right. That's a good reply there from Nicky, which is a shot he needs to score this end. Yeah, I think we worked it out. I think there's 5 players vying for 2 spots, I believe. I think that's what it looked like in the rankings. I think then, of course, all the players are here this week, which makes it even better. We've got Les Gillett and Colin Walker, Wayne Hogg, Mark Dawes.
And Simon Skelton's
And
the other
Simon,
one.
that's right. And funny, I've seen a lot of Simon this year, and I've been very impressed. He's playing a lot more this year, and he's played very well every time I've seen him.
Well, Simon's put a lot of hours in practicing this week down here, ready for his game. He plays another local, Ian Gallagher, in his first round. So it's a big chance for Simon if he can win that. He's also given himself the option and the chance by also qualifying for the Tour Card playoffs here in May, the Co-operative Funeralcare Tour Cards. So if he did happen to slip out of the top 16, he's given himself a backup plan, and that shows great professionalism.
Has he actually qualified for the finals yet, or is he trying to qualify at Lincoln?
Yeah, no, he won the New Earswick qualifier.
Oh, he did. Ah, great.
Yeah, he's actually here.
Yeah, that's right. It's very professional. We actually played him down at Poole this year in the first UK Masters event, and he was in my group at Poole, and we ended up drawing 1-1. Very good game. But as I say, I've seen a lot of Simon. Very impressed with his attitude this year. You can see he's got the enthusiasm back, which is very important.
Well, what does Damien try and play here, Neil?
I think he'll play the forehand runner. He's very good at this shot. If he can get any contact on the red bowl, I think he'll improve it.
Well, he doesn't want to drop a 2 here.
Has he got enough weight? This might just bend underneath. Or he might get a corner of the red onto the jack.
Oh, he got the corner.
Still 2, I think. It's not far away.
2 shots, Nick Brett.
Yeah, 2 down, so Nicky's right back in it.
So that means that Damien doublers 7-5 up against world number 3 Nicky Brett with 2 ends to play. Deficit's just 2 now. If you were a betting man, it would be interesting odds now, I think.
Which I am. I do like the odd dabble now and then. So now I mean, we go back to the previous end when Nicky bowled that great last bowl to chickle the white for 2, and that's exactly what we were saying earlier about the seeded players being able to bowl those bowls under pressure. If he misses that, he's 1-0 down, but all of a sudden now it's anybody's set.
Looks close here as well, Neil.
Yeah, he's got a spring in his step now, I think, hasn't it? I think that's definitely the difference I've noticed between the qualifiers and the seeded players. I think we just feel the pressure a little bit more, knowing that we're on the big stage. As I say, I think I've played 6 times now in the World Bowls Tour, and I haven't won a game yet, even though I've been very close to winning. I haven't won, and that sort of does build on your mind. And each time you get here, you're just so determined to try and make that next step. And it just adds pressure, and obviously that's pressure you could do without.
Well, I had a bit of a smile with Nicky when I saw him yesterday. He was having a look at the World Singles provisional ranking list for next year, and I just said to him, "You don't need to look at that, Nick. I think you're guaranteed for next year." And he smiled at me. He said, "That's okay then." But I think that comes into play as well when you get to this final tournament, Neil. Some of these players know that they're comfortable for next year. We might see differences in games. The game after this one, the first game this evening, is between Wayne Hogg and Colin Walker.
It's close, but favoured green.
And that's a huge game for both of those players.
Yeah, and I guess that's the first one of the important that we've just been talking about. The 5 players involved, and as I say, it's massive for each of them. Nicky just looks under here. Has he got the pace?
He's urging it on.
Well, he's sort of left himself open here.
15 inches.
Damien's got a good chance to seal the set here. One good bowl, if he can just sneak round Nicky's front bowl, this will be difficult for Nicky to retrieve.
He's clicking his fingers at it.
Yes, a sign of him being too heavy.
If it was Les Gillett, it would be a sign that he was right on the jack.
That's right. Yeah, that's okay. It gives him a great option with his last. If Nicky doesn't do something with his last, I think you could see Damien playing bowl or jack with his last for the set. So important bowl this. Decent line if his pace is good.
He just wants to slip past his own bowl. Real look of concentration there
Yeah,
from Nick
this
Brett.
looks good.
Very good
This
bowl.
is very good. Oh, it's just slipped
Slipped
through. Well, Damien's still got second. Does he have a little run down the forehand? Bowl clean or bowl onto jack? Or he could play backhand runner for the clean jack? Or does he
might
just
be
stick
looking
to
at
the
it on the
draw?
backhand here, even if he gets an inside edge off that shot bowl of Nick's.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised
gone for the
he's gone for the draw. I suppose he's a little
Frightened
bit...
of turning
yeah,
Neil. Yeah,
that's right.
the
He could have got
bowling.
red bowl onto his own. It's he's just a bit wide. Oh, what a shame. He had a bit of a chance then. Yeah, looks like one red. Oh, he's having a measure. Oh. Well, maybe that was the reason why Damien wasn't quite so keen to run at it. Perhaps he favours his own.
Umpire Mike Davis being called into a measure for us here.
Yeah, it did say on the screen one red, but it's not always 100% accurate.
Nice bright pink measure there.
Oh, here's one red, yeah. Well, Nicky will be relieved with that one.
Yeah, it's always worth just having a measure. Sometimes it just steadies your nerves a bit as well. Damien's just
One
lost the
shot,
last three
Nick Brett.
ends.
Yeah.
Going into the last end of this first set. Damien Dubler from Wales leads 7-6 against the world number 3 Nick Brett.
Yeah, it's a big end now, I think, in the context of the game. I'd love to see sort of Damien finish the set off having had a good start. You know, he's looked to really settled, and he probably deserves to win this first set the way he's played. It's important for the qualifiers to get off to a good start. So this is a big end for Damien.
Yeah, Nick's dug deep though and fought his way back into this game here at the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open. Of course, we've got co-sponsors of Just Retirement. Both sponsors here, very, very good supporters of the game, as are Partington's Holiday Parks, which is the venue of Blackpool Newton Hall that we're playing at here.
4 inches.
Not a bad start from Nick, just a slightly under. Damien sticking to the backhand. He'd like a good first bowl here. Line looks pretty good. Is his pace good? Just needs to drop inside. That's not bad. Of course, Damien's got last bowl and only needs to score a single, so could be quite important.
Well, Nick looks in the area here.
Cracking line. Has he got the weight? Yes, he has. Great bowl. Enough a shot. Still sticking to the draw. Great effort. Just a fraction over the top.
It gives him options if he's just behind, though. He didn't want anything short there.
Yeah, it does. I think we mentioned yesterday about not wasting bowls, and of course on a ninth end, it's even more important. It gives him a couple of options now at the moment. I think Nicky will be trying to bury this jack. He won't want to leave it there.
He's looking on a good line here, Neil.
Has he got the pace? Great try. Oh, that's pretty good. Well played.
That's what makes him the world number 3,
Correct.
provisional number 2.
Yeah. Damien's still got a nice shot down here. He could play either way. I think I'd be arriving down the forehand. Jack clean's very good. If he's tight and gets his own bowl, he could plants onto the jack. So there's a few options. Little forehand runner. Here it comes.
Yeah, doesn't look on a bad line.
Oh, it's very close
Very
here.
close here,
Jack
Damien.
clean would be good. Oh, what he's got.
Well,
It's a one bowl shootout now.
yeah, it's
I think Damien's disappointed, but what I would say is that probably guarantees him a tie. He'd be disappointed if he didn't beat the bowl that's 4 feet short. Obviously Nicky's going to get one close with his last. But, he's going to have a shot to win the set and probably guaranteed a tie, I would think. Decent line.
Yeah, Nick will want this as close as possible. He doesn't want to give Damien too much room.
Well,
it's looking very good.
It's not bad, but I think Damien will fancy this one.
Well, Damien, you've got a couple of foot there to draw to take this first set.
I think he should be quite relaxed with this. I know he's 2 down, but there's no way he's not going to beat the front bowl. Well, he's choosing backhand.
Now that surprises me, Neil. I thought he'd have played forehand down to that last bowl of Nick's.
Yeah, the bowl's sticking out, isn't it? And I think I might have played forehand, but he obviously favours this backhand.
Well, it looks down a good track.
It does look a great line.
What's
it's all on his
like?
pace. He's very close.
What's his weight
I
like?
think he's drawn it. He's drawn it. He's got to stop. Oh, very close. Wow.
Well, I don't
might
think
just
we'll
have
know
run
until
on.
we get told.
I think it's still 1 to Nick.
1 shot, Nick Brett.
It is. Wow.
First set tied.
Wow.
Well, from a 5-0 lead in the first set, Nick Brett's come all the way back at Damien, and it's a tied first set. So that makes it very, very interesting, this second set, Neil.
It does, and I feel for Damien there because you can see his anguish just standing behind there. He knows he's let that get away. But to be fair to Nick, it was his good bowls that got him back in the set. Damien didn't do much wrong the last few ends, and Nicky upped his game, played some great shots when he needed to. And in the end, a drawn set. Nicky will probably be feeling the happier out the two, which is strange, isn't it? You're both level, but Damien will be feeling disappointed and Nicky will be feeling happy. It's a strange one, isn't it?
A great opening bowl there from Nick. All fresh now, new set, 9 ends. Winner of this set wins the game. The only way we'd go into a tie break now is if this was a tied set, and the way that these two boys are playing out there, can't put it out of the possibilities.
Yeah, you can see Damien's just a little frustrated. He's still probably thinking about the last end. He's at the end of the day, he's still level. He's got to try and think positively. He's drawing well. He just needs to stick to his game plan and keep drawing. It's early stage. You just want to keep it tight. Yeah, no mishaps. Still running through a little there. So it's easy to be a little bit careless and drop a 3 or a 4 the first couple of ends, and then you end up chasing the game, which you don't want to be doing that. Oh, Nicky's piling the pressure on now. That's 3 great bowls.
Well, Damien really needs to get something in here now.
Yeah, you've got to stick to the draw here. You've got to back yourself to draw a shot or second.
I don't think he's so happy with it, Neil. He was clicking his fingers again. He's always tended to be slightly over when he's done that.
Yeah, his line's been pretty good each time. It's just that 2 feet overweight. Wow, that fell against the bias. That was a strange reaction.
Well, I think Nick was just having a look there to see if Damien fancies having a run at that target, take a couple of the bowls away. Where's it going to go?
Well, I think Nick should cover here. Maybe cover the spot. Yep. Yeah, we'd be happy with a 3. I think this probably forces Damien to draw with his last, which he probably would have done anyway, but Nick can't afford to gamble.
It's a good ball there.
Yeah, it's right on the spot.
Right on the spot.
Wow.
Wow.
Didn't get much closer. Yeah, I think Damien would have drawn anyway, but he only has to make a small adjustment with his last. He won't be far away. Feels heavy again, I think. It's a little click of the fingers.
Well, every time he's clicked his fingers, Neil, he has been heavy,
Yeah.
so... Oh dear, Damien, you'll be disappointed with that as an opening end.
3 shots, Nick Brett.
The first end of the first set, Damien himself picked up a 3. He's now just dropped to 3.
Yeah, good start there for Nicky. He's certainly got a spring in his step now. You can see the body language is very positive. I'm a big believer of the positive outlook. You know, you sort of wish bad things on yourself, then I think it tends to happen. You need to keep positive all the time.
27.5 metres.
And Nick's certainly doing that at the moment. Damien needs to stay focused. Yeah, it's still early days. A lot of time left in this game yet. He's playing well.
This looks to be just a touch under.
Yeah, his pace is good. That's a pretty good start. Just a bowl tight.
I'd certainly be happy with that as a lead bowl.
It's funny, I don't know if you've heard the news from Greg and Nicky this week, but it sounds like their partnership's come to an end. I don't know if you've...
Oh, right.
Yeah,
no, that's hot off the press, eh?
It is, yeah. I was having a chat with Greg the last day or two, and I think with Nicky's job, it's sort of dictated to him that he has to play out of Huntingdon next year. So unfortunately, their partnership of a number of years is certainly will be ending this year. So
well, I'm sure neither of them will be short of volunteers for partners for next year.
yeah, it's going to be a new era for both of them. I believe Greg's going to play in little bit less next year and have a bit of a break. He said he feels like he needs a rest. With I think 32 years he's been playing nationals, I think he said. So yeah, you can understand he was be happy to have a year out.
32 years.
Well,
wow.
I think he said within the region of 30 years anyway.
He definitely must have only been 3 or 4 when he started.
Well,
then
I know he said he's been 30 odd years bowling. So
it was the same with Robert Wheel. I was speaking to him this morning. He's been playing at this sort of level for 30 years, and he said, depends on the game this morning, which he unfortunately lost out to Alex Marshall. He thinks that would make his decision to take at least a year out of the indoor game, just to recoup, really.
That's a great reply from Damien now. If you just stop on the back bowl, it's enough for shot. Well done.
The play, especially if you play outdoors as well, it's a full-time job just bowling, and of course there's no full-time professionals over here. We have to sort of scrape a living doing various different jobs, and if you've got a full-time job, taking the time off work to play is very hard work. You've got to have an extremely understanding employer. Or like Neil and I are, we're both fortunate that we're self-employed.
Yes, I seem to be doing more bowling than working at the moment, which a lot of my friends always have a laugh about. But we do enjoy it, and love the weekends away. That's a good bowl from Damien now to finish the end off. I think he's holding one. If he can add a second, it'll be very happy with that.
Well, there's a huge chance here, really. He only has to a little touch on the jack or get to Nicky's back bowl.
Very close again. Very close. Be unlucky to go through the gap. Oh, that just doesn't seem fair, does it? He's bowled a perfect bowl. But
very, very unlucky there.
But as I say, they're the things you've got to try and put out of your mind. It's so unlucky, and it's obviously he's disappointed. But it's so difficult to get negative, isn't it, when that happens?
Well, umpire been called on again to measure around these 3 bowls. Mike Davis is out there.
So that just seems to have been the way things have been going for a lot of the qualifiers in this first 2 days. They do seem to be finding the gaps at crucial times. I'll be surprised if that green's not shot, but looking at the measure, who knows? Oh, it's very tight. Maybe the red. In which case it makes Damien's last bowl even more unlucky. Oh no, he's got the green.
One shot, Damien doubler.
That eases the pain a little bit for Damien.
Yeah, So Damien picks up one shot at the second end of this second set. Just to remind everybody that the first set was tied. So Nicky Brett is 3-1 up after 2 ends in the second set at the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open here at Blackpool Newton Hall. Nicky Brett was the first player
Jack length 30 metres.
to successfully defend his title at the Scottish International Open. He played Paul Foster in the final there, and he played Paul Foster in the final the previous year. World number 1, and Paul's the defending champion here. He's been the only one of the seeds to be taken to a tie break so far. He played the Australian Des Camp.
That's right, that was in the first match of the tournament, Janice, wasn't it? And Des played very well second set, thoroughly deserved the tie break.
Yeah, another player that said he's thoroughly enjoyed the experience here.
Oh, great start.
And I was saying before, once you've experienced this, Neil, you get even more keen to get back, be part of it.
Yes, you do, and you know, as obviously I could speak from a qualifier's perspective, and been trying to qualify for the last 14 years, I suppose, since around about 1999, and it's very tough at the qualifiers. They're hard days. It's probably slightly better now than in the early days when you used to be playing at midnight, trying to qualify. But even
Nick,
now, it's still tough.
in the area with this.
Oh, great
what a perfect bowl from Nick Brett
Brilliant
there.
shot. Yeah, she managed to get that bowl out clean. He's left him with 2.
Nick's certainly been tested out there by the young man from Wales, and he's having to up his game here. Yes, the qualifiers are hard work, but at least you have the opportunity nowadays to have
Great
a go at
try.
qualifying. Damien's on a good line
well
here.
played, Damien. That's
What
a
a great ball
fantastic
from
goal.
Damien there. Didn't let the last result affect him. Kept his head calm.
That's right. You need to respond when top players bowl woods like that. You have to respond. And he's done that perfectly.
Nick's looking to play a similar bowl down the backhand.
Very close.
Chop and lie. Any touch on that, Jack? Very close. Oh, what
great
a good
bowl.
bowl.
Made 2 again.
Well, we're certainly being treated this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to a cracking game of bowls from
I
these
think
two.
this is the best game of the tournament so far. Both players playing well now.
Just get a sight there of the British Isles under-25s champion Wayne Ditchfield operating one of the cameras for us here at Blackpool Newton Hall.
He's a big lad, is Wayne.
He's actually just dropped 2 and a bit stone, so
Has he really?
he's doing well. But
That's
yeah, he's one of the ones that's a volunteer at the club for this week. Loves
Cracking
his
line.
bowls, does Wayne. He has to, playing with me in the mixed pairs. He has to love his bowls, hasn't he?
That's a shame. Damien had a good line there, but he's come up 4 feet short, and has left Nicky a great chance now to add another.
A lot of room there. Looks on a good track. Well, Nick, could this give you a huge push in the second set? It's just pulling up short, you know.
He's let him off. Wow, that's
2 shots. Nick
unusual.
Brett.
Nicky would normally add that spare.
Well, Nick Brett takes a 5-1 lead after the third end of the second set. But let's not forget, after the third end of the first set, Damien Doubler was 5-0 up. And it came back to tie the set.
Yeah, still plenty of time for Damien. He's still just got to believe he can do it. It's very easy to think that it's slipping away at this stage, but there's still a lot of ends left, 6 ends. Yeah, the score. You mustn't look at the scoreboard too much and get down on yourself.
Jack length 28 metres.
It's only 4 shots and 6 ends. You know, he can afford to tie the set.
Nick showing he's feeling comfortable out there though, just having a bit of a banter with the crowd. He's one of the players that is well liked here at Blackpool because he likes chatting with the crowd.
Great
He's an
start.
entertainer.
Yeah, lovely start again. Yeah, you certainly play your best bowls when you are relaxed, so it's not a bad thing if you can get the balance right between obviously your concentration and having a little bit of banter as well and a laugh and a joke. I'll play
Great reply
Damien.
there from Damien.
Yeah, great starter. Is Nick going to go early at this, or is he just going to draw? He might go, yes, he's having a little...
Yeah, he's looked at a tighter line,
Yeah.
tried to sit the bowl out, get a piece of the jack.
It's not far away.
A couple of options down here.
Just underneath. Oh, great effort. Yeah, I thought he might have a little go at that. He does like the forehand runner. And of course, on the Blackpool green, you can actually play those shots with a degree of confidence, because the portable rink is a very tricky shot to play. But on here, you got a bit more chance.
That's a good ball from Damien.
Yeah,
It
that
covers
is.
that slightly.
That's right.
Nick
will be
might go a bit firmer.
certainly down a similar route. Slightly wider.
Needs to move.
He's hanging out this time. Pace was similar. What does Damien do now? Does he go deep and cover? He may just try and slot another one in and ask Nick the question. Yeah, I don't think he's covering. He's drawing again.
Well, at the moment, if Nick takes the bowl out clean,
That's a
Damien
great
really needs to
bowl.
get another bowl in.
Well, actually does two jobs. So it may score and it's covering.
Well, what Nick can't afford to do now is take his own bowl out. If he's only the one down, I'm not sure whether that's one or two from this angle.
Yeah, I
Screen's
think
showing two.
Yeah, I think he'll just draw now. Like you say, he can't afford to be clumsy.
Still
I think
played
he's-
that slightly tighter line.
Yeah, I think he's just looking to drop his own in or just slide around it for a second. He's slightly over pace. Well, it's left Damien a chance here. He can lift that bowl out for 4. Or he can just draw in and add another for 2 or 3.
2 green.
Oh, it is 2.
It is two.
Well, I think he'll just be drawing for a third. This will get him right back in the set.
Same bowl as your last, Damien. Gets
That's
you
right.
3.
This is just what he needed as well.
Oh, click of the fingers. Normally means he's heavy.
The line's good. The line is very good. I think he's good this time. Just drop off his own and back. Could be.
Nick's taken 2 out.
I think that's the key to this game has been when a player's needed to score, Nick and Damien, they've both managed to do it just to stop a set slipping away. You know, they've both managed to keep themselves in it with big bowls. I think that's
Ladies and
been
gentlemen, just while they're having the measure, Elizabeth Ward, could you please ring your mother urgently? That's Elizabeth Ward. Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be either 2 or 3 to Damien. 2 already out.
Three shots, Damien doubler.
Well, that was a count of 3 then. Gets him really back into this set.
Yeah, that was a perfect reply from Damien, just what he needed. And he deserves to be in this match. He's played very well. I think, of all the qualifiers, Damien's performed the best, what I've seen. And he deserves to be in the match. That's 5-4.
Count of 5-4. Yeah, really exciting game, this, very tight bowls. Nicky just shaking his head there. That was probably a loose end from himself. He would be disappointed to just miss those 2 runners he played.
Yeah, he probably thought maybe afterwards he should have attacked it with a little bit more weight when he had the opportunity before Damien's other bowl came across. It's the sort of shot he's very good at. That's a good start from Damien again. Well played.
Oh, Nick, playing it down the backhand here. All four hands fairly reasonable. Here at Blackpool, it's a very good rink.
Yeah, just slipping through. His line was very good. I think it'd be great to see this match go to a tie-break, Janice. I think it's been a great game. Both players have played very well. Cracking line again. Just needs to reach now. Great effort, Damien. Well played.
Great ball from Damien there.
It's a great performance. Nicky switching to the forehand. Again, just looking to draw. Great try again. Oh, again, just slipping through there. That's what he was doing the first few ends of the first set. When Damien was
Gap about 3 inches.
drawing closer, Nicky was just slightly over pace. I think Damien will just be looking to get round his own shot bowl here and maybe a little bit of cover. Decent line, just needs good weight now. Yeah, that's not a bad effort. Splits the two reds.
Well, Nick will want to get one somewhere about here close in.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be trying to trail the jack. I just think he was just slightly overweight on the draw last time. But he's closer this time.
Yeah, looks in the area here. Looking for a chop on the bowl.
Oh, great
Sit
bowl.
and rest on the jack.
Perfect bowl.
Great bowl.
Made the shot. Looks like one red.
1 red.
Well, Damien's still got room there. Doesn't want to drop more than a 1.
No, I think you just want to keep it tight.
Chance of just promoting his own bowl
Yeah.
down this backhand or reaching Nick's bowl.
Just
Get
looks
shot.
under the line, I
Under.
think. Just a fraction under. Pace was pretty good. Just a bowl tight.
Well, there's a big opportunity here for Nick. Little touch on that jack. Gets him counted 2, possibly 3.
Yeah, if it's similar to his second bowl, he won't be far away.
That's tightened his line up a little bit where Damien's bowl's finished, but if he just bowls the same bowl as his last, as you say, Neil.
Yeah, it's so any movement on the
Timeout called.
jack is probably going to be in Nicky's favour.
Nick
If he
has
is-
4 timeouts remaining.
If he is slightly overweight. He's just took a time out there, so I think he realises this is a important bowl. Oh, he's switching to the backhand. Interesting. Wonder why that. Need to look at the head again.
Decided what he's playing. Quite surprised he's playing that. He must
Yeah.
have felt that that was a danger bowl of Damien's, that last bowl.
Yeah,
But I
perhaps if
think
he was a
playing
fraction
down
wide.
here, he's got
yeah.
the chance of knocking Damien's in. He's on a
Yeah,
wider line.
I'm the same with you, Janice. I think it looked a forehand shot. Ugh.
Interesting choice of shot there from the world
1
number 3.
shot, Nick Brett.
Yeah, I
Nick
think
Brett goes 6-4 up after 5 ends in this first set.
yeah, very tight. He was just a bit too cautious, I think, with that last bowl. He did have a chance to make 3 with his last, but in the end, settle for the 1.
Four ends left to play. All to play for out here. Great game for the spectators. Packed house today. 2 more good games coming up from 6 o'clock
meters.
tonight. Wayne Hogg versus Colin Walker. And one Darren Burnett versus Mark Dawes.
Yeah, should be 2 great games. Of course, the other thing with the ranking list as well is the players vying for the top 8 spots, isn't it? Because the top 8 get into the mixed pairs at Potters. So there's a little extra there for those guys to be playing for.
Yeah, there's a couple of players just on the outside of that Irving King and Greg Harlow that are trying to get back into the top 8. Both played really well here so far.
Yeah, I thought Greg, even though Charles sort of struggled a little bit, I thought Greg probably looked the best player up to now of all the seeded players.
Well, Mervyn King wasn't too shabby against you either, Neil.
I thought Mervyn did a very professional job. He even admitted afterwards that he felt he had to lengthen it and make the game a little bit scrappier because he felt I was beating him to the shorter jacks, which was a kind thing to say from Merv. And even though he said he wasn't totally happy with the way he played himself, he just felt he was outdoing me on the longer jacks, which proved to be vital in the end, really.
Well, Damien's close here, just slipping past.
That's a good second bowl.
1 red.
Yeah, it's quite crucial for Damien now. Is the 4 ends to play, and he's probably going to have to win 3 of them, I would think. Certainly 2. And Nicky will be thinking if he can win 2, then he's going to be pretty close to that winning line. So sticking with the draw, Damien. 4-hand draw. If you can just rest the bowl and sit it out, he'll make 2. Touch the jack, he'll make 2. Great line. It's all on his pace. This is very close. What a great try. Deserves the shot with this. Oh, well played. Don't fall back on the jack. Don't fall back. Oh, no.
No, as that's just sat it far enough to nudge the jack.
Well, it seemed to drop gently, so hopefully for Damien's sake it didn't go too far.
I didn't see the jack move.
Very close.
Oh, it's a close measure. That was so cruel.
Oh, come on, where's we're overhead when we need one?
Yeah, that's a bit of a personal question
Very
there.
close.
I was going to say, if that had been a Super Bowl and he'd have asked, do you fancy either of us, they'd have got an answer off the crowd, no doubt. Big smile off Damien anyway.
It's a good job Princey wasn't marking, that's all I can say.
Well, Nick.
Oh, he's close with this.
I
He
tell you
squeezes
what.
the jack. What a bowl. Oh, he's probably given shot away. So unlucky. Wow. Wow, what a great
One
bowl.
green.
It is
One
one
green.
green. What a great bowl from Nick. I mean, Damien's holding 1, but this could be a very important bowl. He could either give shot away here or actually bury it for 3.
Oh, the bowls are just sat down.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes any difference a shot.
No, I suppose the only thing it does do, it makes Damien's
Time out
shot
call.
a little bit safer now, because those bowls will take a bit of lifting now they're sat down.
Can he tuck that jack?
Yeah, a perfect draw now, front toucher to make 3.
It's easy when we're sat here, Neil.
Yeah, he's a confident lad though, so you won't be afraid to try it.
He's definitely played it on the high side. Make sure he's not in the danger area.
It's a great effort.
It's coming back now. This is very good from Damien
It
here.
sits now, it's in. Well played.
What a bowl.
Looks good. Well, Nicky's conceded the 1.
1 shot, Damien doubler.
Oh, only the 1.
Well, after 6 ends, we're now Nick Brett 6-5.
Oh, it's been a fantastic game. Really pleased to be in the commentary box on this one.
I was going to say, it's one of those games that it's really good to commentate on, because things are changing virtually with every bowl.
Yeah, it's been wood for wood, and I think that's what's kept Damien in the game, is the fact that when he's had to bowl a big bowl, he has managed to do it.
Remaining.
Mike Davis, the umpire there, was just letting both guys know how many timeouts they've got.
Jack length,
This
13 and a half
stage of the
metres.
game is so crucial. They need to know what time they've got to use.
Just looks under the line with this one. Something not quite right with this one. Yeah, a fraction under. So 18 inches short.
Nick Brett's mum's out there watching him, and Damien's dad's out there. They'll both be very, very tense at the moment.
Great reply there from Damien. It's enough for Shotwood.
Yeah, nervy times now, Neil. Coming down to these last few ends. End 7, we always say it's a crucial end.
Yeah, even more so in a game this tight. It's an interesting situation because will the players be a little negative here, or if one of them has a chance to win the game, will they go for it? Really? A chance of a bowl out for 4. You know, if it's a risky one, would they go for it? It could be the difference of winning and losing, couldn't it? But very interesting.
Like you said, you know Damien sort of better than myself, but he's a very confident player, but Nicky Brett's uber confident.
Yep.
Always plays the percentage bowl. Damien just looks under again to me here.
He does. He's got very good weight, but just not quite. It's another second bowl, though. It'll be
1 red.
That's okay.
Well, Nick, little touch on that jack. Similar bowl to your last.
Yeah, if he can drag this jack, then Damien's in all sorts of trouble. Looks slightly under. Well,
It was his pace more than anything,
yeah,
I think, there,
it
Neil.
was. Yeah, it was a good attacking line.
Right, bowl.
Well,
out.
I wonder. Yeah, this is what we were just saying. That, you know, does he stay negative and just try and draw without any risk, or does he play the attacking shot, bowl out for 2?
Jack in ditch would do him for 1.
Yeah, Jack in the ditch for 1. It wouldn't surprise me if he plays the shot. You know, it's one of those you sometimes have to make a decision. Do you risk
Timeout
losing
call.
the game to win the game, isn't it?
3 timeouts remaining.
It's funny, I watched the snooker down in Wales a couple of weeks ago and listened to one of Mark Williams' interviews, and it was quite interesting. He said the day he stops trying to make a pot to win the match will be the day he stops playing snooker, and it's a similar situation here now. You know, does Damien play a shot to possibly win the game with his takeout?
Well, if he doesn't play it, it still leaves Nick the tuck round the corner for 3.
That's right, we'll see.
I think he'll be reaching.
Yeah, he's a little touch of weight on the inside line. Oh, is he a bit
He
wide?
looks wide to me.
He's not too wide. He's trying to get back.
Just wide enough,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
he had enough weight. His weight was really good.
Well, now, I think you could say the same sentence again. Does
Yeah,
Nick now play
that's
the
right.
same shot to try and just tuck that jack?
That's right.
He's holding 1, which would give him an 8-5 lead. 7-5 lead.
Yeah,
That's my
like I say,
mathematics not working at this time of day. Need more cake, Neil.
I don't think so, Janice. I think 1 slice is quite enough. But yeah, a
It
3
would give
is
him a
massive.
2-shot lead, which is huge at this point.
It
But if
is.
he tucks that jack, and he looks close,
Oh, very close.
he
What a
looks
try.
very close here, all the way with this, I
He's
think.
got it.
What a bowl from the
Brilliant
world
bowl.
number 3.
And that is why he's the world number 3. Absolutely brilliant bowl.
Might just be the 2. Oh,
2.
Damien's saying it's just 2.
Yeah. A bit of a smile there from Damien.
2 shots, Nick Brett.
Well, still a great bowl. Good 2.
That gives Nick Brett an 8-5 lead in the second set. 2 ends to play, having tied the first set 7-all. Well, Damien only needs 3 for it to be a tied set. We could go into a tie break, Neil.
Yep, I think it's quite simple now. Damien has to win the last 2 ends. You know, 2 and a 1, or even 2 2s to sneak it. You know, who knows?
13.5
But
metres.
he's got last bowl on this end, and that is going to be very important.
Well, good line from Nick. Nick will be wanting to nail this with his first bowl.
Yeah, 1 good front toucher now would be very difficult to beat. Great score, great start. Well played.
Yep, perfect lead bowl. Perfect lead bowl.
So whatever the outcome now, it's certainly been the game of the tournament so far.
Yes, when I put my hat on later, the other hat I have of the press, I think this will be the highlighted game, and it's been a pleasure to commentate on it.
Yeah, really enjoyable. So I just hope that, not being biased, but it'd be nice to see it go to a tie break. I mean, Damien does deserve the tie break. He's played very well.
He's given himself a chance with that bowl because it means he can swap to his forehand and just have a little.
There's Damien's
trail.
dad in the crowd there in the blue shirt. It's a great effort. Oh, it's not a bad spot again. Yeah, I wonder whether Damien will switch now and just try and rest the bowl or get the jack. Yep, forehand.
I know Nick Brett's mum's sat up there somewhere with my mum and dad. We were busy chatting this morning. Nick had loved coming back to the venue after his
Fantastic
Super Bowl
line.
experience, so he enjoys it here, as does Damien. Damien's been here a couple of times, both experienced from playing at this venue.
Yeah, it's a lovely club. Always very welcome here. So all the members look after as well. Damien was just a little unlucky there. It looked really good, but it just didn't quite finish. Another good bowl from Nick. He's really trying to finish this game off now.
That might force Damien into being a little bit more aggressive at this, a bit more positive.
Yeah, I think so. He knows he's got to win the end. Yeah, it would be nice to get a 2, but it's more important he scores a 1. He can't afford to drop shot. If he can get the bowl out clean, that'll be good. Forehand runner again, looks good.
Needs to move, Damien.
What's had wide?
Well now, Nick, where do you put this bowl? Nick Brett scores a 2 here, it's game over. If he only picks up a 1, Damien would have to try and get a 4 on the last end, which is a tough ask.
Just saw Mandy in the crowd there texting. My other half.
Good supporter, Neil.
Yeah, she's one of the best. She goes everywhere with me.
Nice to have somebody there at the sidelines who's, is in your corner 100%.
Yep, she certainly loves watching the bowls and loves watching my 2 girls play as well. So great supporter. What we call her our manager. We can't manage without her. She's our secretary and manager. Looks after us well.
Well, I always used to say about my mum, she was logistics. She used to sort out how I got to a venue and I went out and played.
Yep.
But it's always good to have support. Both of these players out there have got
That's right.
very supportive families.
Well, this is it then, Damien. If ever you needed a great bowl, it's now.
This bowl to stay in the Co-operative Funeralcare International Open 2015 for the young man from Wales, Damien Doubler.
He's decided to go back to the draw.
He's waving at it. He's waving at it.
Just slightly over pace, I think.
Just looks over.
Unlucky. I think that could be it.
2 shots, a set, and the match to Nick
Wow.
Brett.
Fantastic game.
Fantastic game of bowls. The young man from Wales should be very proud. But the world number 3, Nick Brett, takes the game 7-7, 10-5.
Well, once more, ladies and gentlemen, your appreciation to 2 players who have just given you a fantastic display of bowling.
Well, thanks for your company this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to join us again at 6 o'clock tonight for the next game. Thanks, Neil, for joining me in the commentary box.
I really enjoyed it, Janice. I say we've been treated to a fantastic game there. Damien will be a little disappointed, but he's played well, and he's certainly deserved to win a set. But no, he looks happy enough. But well done to Nick. Great game.
Right, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Join us again at 6 o'clock. Thanks for your company.